I'm here to talk about Blindspot, Season 1, Episode 5, Split the Law, and the anagram for that is the past will. Let's talk about the case right now, shall we? So, some hostage takers go to MWA, and I could have swore the whole team was saying NWA. I was like, hey! But they were trying to say, or was saying MWA. Hostage. And so it happened the way they knew about it is because the address was tattooed on Jane's thigh. Coincidence? Of course not. Willard becomes the hostage negotiator and asks, what do they want? And they say they want their pension back. They don't want to go to jail, and they want the head of MWA. You hold people hostage. How you figure you ain't going to jail? And they want all this in 30 minutes. You probably could call and get a pizza sooner than you can get what you want. By the time he get off the phone, call around, see where they gonna get it and how they gonna get it, it's 30 minutes. We'll go by time, ask like, we need more time, dude. The guy was like, oh, okay. During this whole time, 3 of the hostages went in the back. When they come back out, this lady was like, thank you for giving. He started spraying everybody. I don't know if he had his eyes closed or whatever. Willard and them and the team go in, and I think it was pretty much too late. A lot of people died or they were injured. Willard and Jane go downstairs. They see 2 dudes in a suit get killed, and then a guy in a chair was shot as well. Tom Carter, the deputy director of CIA, showed up, and they found out it's a CIA black site, which shouldn't exist because CIA works internationally and the FBI domestic. Tom Carter meets Jane, and he was like, I'll tell you all what's going on, but not in front of a civilian. Jane and Zappa go back up to the truck. Carter just basically tell, because Mayfair was there as well, that Dodi was intel asset that they have in Pakistan who gave intel on a terrorist group until they found out. And they didn't extract him because I guess it was too risky, so they left him high and dry. He escaped and then went underground. They couldn't find him anything. And then they found him, and I guess he was a part of another group, and he became a good bomb maker. Then Jane realized, and again, Jane is good with computers now, she felt something was off and realized that it was not a hostage situation. It was basically a rescue mission. So Dodi is with this new group, and they're out. Willard tries to talk to the hostage takers that they did keep, and one of the ladies' hair was falling out, so they found out she has been exposed to radiation, so she was dying. So that's why they were, all gung-ho and didn't care about anything because they were dying anyway. So they found a 30-block radius of this radiation where people were losing their hair, going to the hospital. These workers all in the same area, so they found this 30-block location. They had a team go in, and then they killed 2 people, and they found this list. All the people on the list had already died, and they were in this cemetery. And then they figured, where would you put this radiation, but with people who are already dead? They go to the cemetery, and they pretty much get ambushed, basically almost. And then so they, were shooting out and stuff like that. Of course, what happens? They see Dodi, he has this urn with radiation in it. Jane follows him, takes him down, get the urn, and she's about to get shot, and guess who saves her? Willard. So she put the urn down, and then as they were walking, Carter had a gun on Dodi, and he had a gun on Jane. He was about to shoot Jane, but Mayfair said, don't you do it. They're going. And then he speaks to Reed, and Reed, he was like, oh, if you ever want to be on a good team, come talk to me. And he didn't say nothing because Zappa was there, and then he was speaking to Zappa, and she just kept walking. But before, Zappa was telling Reed, like, don't sit here and give Carter a reason, because he kind of concedes you, like, agreeing with him about Jane. But all along, she was the one. Because at the end, she took money. Because, she owed the guy $40,000. So she took money to give intel on Jane. But let's go back to the place. So all of them there is a standoff. CIA against FBI. Mayfair was like, you're not getting Dodie. And Carter said, okay, that's fine. Give me Jane. So she basically had to decide. So she give him Dodie. So he takes Dodie and keeps Jane. Jane said, thank you for not handing me off. And Mayfair kind of like, rest up. It almost sounded like it might come another time. So that's what happened with that. And the case was okay. Let's talk about Jane's personal life. Jane went over to Willard's house to have dinner with his sister and stuff, and they were talking, and then she just felt, I don't know, she panicked, so she left. This whole time she had visions of being taken from the house and then going down to, it's like a cellar or a basement or something, and there were other kids living in nasty surroundings, you know, on mattresses and stuff like this. So it was a bunch of kids. So she's having more and more memories and stuff. And she's like, Willard, I feel like you're trying to have me be something that I'm not. I thought she was 10 when she got taken, but she was actually 5, and I guess Willard was 10. Which is still kind of young for you to have him babysit, but I guess. I really don't understand the whole Willard and his dad, because Willard went home and his sister, I guess, had invited the dad, and the dad was there. He didn't want to talk to him. It must be more to it, because you thought your dad had took your best friend, and then he didn't, so you would think you would talk to him to say, you know, hey, but he didn't want to talk to him, so that's crazy. Leave a message, subscribe to this page, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at ReallyMadeline, and I'll see you next week.